Imagine a rain-slicked London pavement and a lone figure standing by a taxi, clutching a single suitcase. No security detail, no royal motorcade, no palace gates to retreat behind. Just a princess, once hailed as the king's secret weapon, now caught in a moment so vulnerable it sent shockwaves through the royal press. What the cameras captured wasn't just a rare public sighting, it was a glimpse into a hidden crisis that has been brewing for months. Behind the scenes, a last-chance offer was reportedly made by Prince William and Kate, a high-stakes ultimatum that would have changed everything for the York family. But when Beatrice and Eugenie walked away, a silent decree was issued. From being banned from the royal carriage procession at Ascot to a deliberate distancing that has left them isolated, the fallout of early 2026 has rewritten the royal rulebook. This video explores the private negotiations that failed, the new documents that surfaced to change the narrative, and why the Princess of Tech may have just played her final card in a game of royal survival. Watch until the end to see the strategic move Beatrice just made that proves she no longer needs palace approval. If you want to stay ahead of the stories the palace won't tell you, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you with us for the next chapter of this royal mystery. The image of a princess standing alone on a London street with a suitcase wasn't a mistake. It was a signal that the inner circle had finally fractured. For years, Beatrice was the one person Prince William felt he could truly rely on when the world felt like it was closing in. They weren't just cousins, they were survivors of the same storm. Both grew up as firstborns watching their fathers fall from grace in the most public way imaginable. That shared trauma forged a bond that was supposed to be unbreakable. In the quiet corridors of the palace, it was widely believed that Beatrice would be the one to step up and save the monarchy when the workload became too much for the king to handle alone. But as 2024 turned into a year of health crises and mounting pressure, the cracks in that alliance started to show. While the public saw Beatrice co-hosting garden parties and standing tall at Christmas, a hidden struggle for control was already unfolding behind closed doors. Insiders say that while she was publicly supporting the king, she was privately being handed an ultimatum that would change her life forever. It was a request so personal and so invasive that it felt less like an invitation and more like a trap. The tension reached a boiling point during a secret meeting at Adelaide Cottage, where the future of the York family was laid on the line. William and Catherine reportedly presented a proposal that left no room for negotiation. It was a clean slate policy, but it came with a price that Beatrice wasn't sure she was willing to pay. As the pressure mounted, she had to decide: remain a loyal soldier to the crown or protect the secrets her family had spent decades trying to hide. Just as the world thought the York sisters were finally being welcomed back into the fold, a single no echoed through the palace walls. It was a refusal that triggered a series of events nobody saw coming, starting with a cold decree that would effectively erase them from the royal stage. And the reason for that refusal is exactly where this story takes a dark and unexpected turn. The true reason for the collapse of this royal alliance isn't a single event, but a secret demand that surfaced in early 2026. Allegedly, Prince William decided that if the York sisters were to have any future within the firm, they first had to undergo a process of total transparency. It is claimed that the Prince of Wales requested a forensic audit of their private financial records, a deep dive into their bank accounts and funding sources that stretched back over a decade. For years, rumors have indicated that the lifestyle of the York family was supported by a complex web of private wealth, much of which was linked to their father's controversial associates. William's reported ultimatum was simple: open the books, prove the money is clean, and earn your place at the center of the monarchy. But for Beatrice and Eugenie, this wasn't just about accounting, it was a matter of autonomy. Insiders suggest they viewed the demand as an invasive attempt to control their private lives. Suspense mounted as the sisters reportedly stood their ground, asserting that their income from technology and consultancy was their own business. But while they fought for their independence, the clock was ticking on a much larger problem. In March 2026, a fresh wave of documents from the old Epstein files began to circulate, reportedly containing references to travel expenses and social circles that the palace had hoped would remain buried. The timing couldn't have been worse. just as Beatrice was carving out a role as a trusted advisor. These new reports suggested that the shadow of the past was longer than anyone admitted. It is believed that this financial standoff became the final straw for William. He wasn't just looking for honesty, he was looking for a reason to draw a permanent line between his reign and the scandals of the previous generation. The rejection of the audit wasn't just a no to a set of papers, it was a declaration of independence that carried a heavy price. Within weeks, the polite smiles at public events began to vanish, replaced by a cold distance that reached its peak at Royal Ascot. And as the sisters found themselves physically pushed to the outskirts of the royal circle, a new and even more shocking decree was about to be issued, one that would target their very identities as princesses. In early 2026, the fragile peace between the York sisters and the palace didn't just crack, it shattered. Allegedly, a new directive was issued that sent shockwaves through the royal circle. A ban on Beatrice and Eugenie appearing in any public-facing capacity for the foreseeable future. Reports suggest that the trigger was a fresh wave of documents that once again linked the sisters' past travels to the very controversies their father was currently facing. According to sources, this wasn't just about optics. It was a deliberate attempt to distance the future of the monarchy from any lingering shadows. The fallout was visible almost immediately. For decades, the Royal Ascot carriage procession has been the ultimate litmus test of who belongs in the inner sanctum. But as the 2026 racing season approached, insiders say the sisters were told their seats in the procession had been revoked. It is claimed that Beatrice was completely blindsided by the decision, having spent years carefully rebuilding her reputation as a modern, hard-working member of the family. Rumors indicate that Prince William even went a step further, reportedly advising other senior royals to avoid being photographed with the pair for the remainder of the year. The distance grew even more apparent in May 2026. While William and Catherine led the first Buckingham Palace garden party of the year, the York sisters were conspicuously absent. Instead of standing at the heart of the institution, they were reportedly seen blocks away, pivoting toward a life that looks very different from the one they were born into. It was a clear signal that the invisible alliance had been replaced by a wall of silence. But while some expected the sisters to fade quietly into the background, they were actually preparing a response that would prove they were no longer playing by the palace's rules. As the doors of the institution closed, Beatrice was already opening a new one, focusing on a high-tech venture that would grant her the ultimate royal luxury: total independence. And this new path didn't just change her career. It set the stage for a confrontation that would force King Charles to choose between his son's cold strategy and his own family loyalty. While the world watched the future king draw a line in the sand, a different story was unfolding inside the private study of King Charles. Allegedly, the monarch does not share his son's scorched earth policy when it comes to the York sisters. Reports suggest that while William is focused on a clean break, Charles remains deeply protective of his nieces. Insiders say the king has quietly resisted the push to completely exile them, believing that the sins of the father should not permanently stain the lives of the children. It is claimed that in late March 2026, a secret invitation to Royal Ascot was actually extended to Beatrice and Eugenie directly from the king's office, effectively bypassing William's earlier decree. This creates a fascinating high-stakes tug-of-war at the very top of the monarchy. On one side, you have a future king who believes survival depends on total distance from scandal. On the other, a present king who values family loyalty and individual merit. But rumors indicate that Beatrice has stopped waiting for the men in her life to decide her fate. According to sources, she and Eugenie have made a secret vow to push back hard if their royal privileges or titles are threatened. It is believed they have even sought preliminary legal advice to protect their standing, a move that hasn't been seen since the early days of the Sussex departure. The tension is no longer just a palace rumor. It's a visible rift. As of May 2026, Beatrice has reportedly begun to pivot her public image entirely, distancing herself from the working royal drama to focus on her growing influence in the global tech sector. Insiders suggest she is preparing to prove that she is more than just a supporting character in the royal drama. She is becoming a powerhouse in her own right, building a life that the palace can neither grant nor take away. But as she steps into this new identity, a new question is surfacing in royal circles. If the king and his heir can't agree on the future of the Yorks, what happens when the next scandal breaks? The answer may lie in a strategic move Beatrice made just weeks ago, a move that proves she's no longer playing defense. This pivot doesn't just change her career, it sets the stage for a final confrontation that could redefine what it means to be a royal in 2026. Just as the palace was closing its doors, Beatrice and Eugenie were spotted in the one place nobody expected, at the heart of a global cultural phenomenon. On May 8, 2026, while Prince William and Catherine were hosting the season's first high-profile garden party at Buckingham Palace, the York sisters were reportedly miles away, rubbing shoulders with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce at a lavish birthday bash in London. Allegedly, this wasn't just a night out. It was a carefully timed public statement. According to sources, skipping the King's official event to party with the world's biggest pop star was the sisters' way of showing they no longer need the palace's spotlight to remain relevant. This high society pivot has sent rumors swirling through royal circles that the sisters are preparing to go all in on their independent lives. Reports suggest that Beatrice in particular is leaning into her role as the Princess of Tech. Since late 2025, she has served as a director and major shareholder of Purpose Economy Intelligence Limited, a venture co-founded with a World Economic Forum executive. Insiders say this company isn't just a side project, it is her safety net. It is claimed that Beatrice has been quietly building a financial fortress that would make any future attempts by William to strip her of her standing completely irrelevant. But as she gains independence, the stakes for the monarchy are getting even higher. Rumors indicate that the York sisters have held serious discussions about seeking legal advice to protect their titles and access to royal properties. It is believed they are ready to contest any long-term plan William might have to push them further toward the margins. They aren't just fading away, they are allegedly preparing for a standoff that could force a permanent wedge between the present king and his heir. The distance between the two camps is now so wide that insiders say communication has almost entirely broken down. While William remains focused on his clean vision for the crown, Beatrice is reportedly moving toward a future where she is the CEO of her own destiny. And what happened just 48 hours after that Taylor Swift party suggests that the final confrontation isn't coming. It's already here. The move she made next didn't just surprise the public, it reportedly left the king himself stunned, leading to a conclusion that nobody in the palace was prepared for. The story of Princess Beatrice in 2026 is a masterclass in survival. We've seen the reported last chance offer that was rejected, the financial audit that sparked a standoff, and the silent decrees that physically moved her to the outskirts of royal life. What started as a childhood bond with Prince William has transformed into a strategic divide that will eventually define the next reign. As it stands, we are witnessing a clash between two visions for the monarchy. One is held by a father who believes in redemption and family loyalty, and the other by a son who believes that total distance from scandal is the only way for the throne to survive. Beatrice has made her choice, and it's neither of theirs. By building a career and a tech venture that doesn't depend on palace approval, she has become the first royal of her generation to truly find independence. Whether this is the end of the Yorks' influence or the beginning of a modern royal rebellion remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the woman caught with that suitcase wasn't leaving her family behind. She was just moving into her own future. We're constantly tracking the stories the palace won't tell you, so hit that subscribe button and join our channel to make sure you never miss the next chapter. Drop a comment below and tell us, do you think William is right to distance himself from his cousins, or has the palace gone too far? We'd love to hear your thoughts.